My angels, I hope you're well. We've got our incense going here. I've got the room, Palo Santo. I felt to say too, I don't know if somebody just needed to hear this or what, but I've never said this on my channel, but to the ancient world, when they lit incense, it wasn't like this new age thing. It was a physical barrier breaking recognition symbol in the 3D realm that something like smoke embodied the properties that could permeate the 3D realm into the 4D realm, 5D, 6D, right? The heavens. And it was their way of connecting and remembering daily and in their temple worship and rituals that they were part of a bigger story. And their smoke, like their prayers, would rise, right? And in that same way, I don't light my incense for protection or for any of these things. I believe that within me, Yahweh, the spark, the creator, is all the protection that I need in Yeshua, my universal truth. However, ritualistically, it is very helpful to do things, excuse me, I'm blocking, that symbolize your connection to the heavens, okay? Because when we connect, and this is reminding Eve, so I'm reminding you who you are every day that I can. When we connect with our spiritual sense of the bigger story, we're remembering who we are. We're starting to put ourselves into that humble space where we recall what our ancestors walked through, what they carried. We recall, I'm getting chills like deep inside right now, like not on my skin. I'm actually getting chills deep within. That's an interesting feeling. It's resonating so deeply. And that makes sense. The message that I have for this collective is so intense, and it makes sense beginning that way, that what you need to know is that you are the breaker. If you've heard that term, you would know that. You, maybe even amongst your siblings, have walked this life, this journey with such opposition, with so much resistance, feeling like you don't belong, likely, even in your own family, feeling like you were an outcast, and there were things that all your life pushed you to the edges of society, pushed you to the edges. You didn't want to go there. Maybe you thought you did, like, oh, you're a bit of a rebel or whatever. You want to be on the outside. Maybe it starts that way, but that's not any child's dream, okay? For the past 3 days, I have been asked by God as a vessel to embody the mind and heart of an addict. And I'm slowing down my words right now because I feel the reverence of your ancestors. Hang on. I'm just starting to shake a little. I feel the reverence of heaven around you. I can't, hold on. The thing is you have been so dishonored. And you have dishonored yourself so much, the way you have thought about yourself, that you would almost want to click off this message because you would think, that ain't me. Like you haven't thought much of yourself. Hang on. So you would not be thinking, oh, I feel heaven honoring me, but it's never what you think, and it's never who you think. I say you, I'm talking to you, society. We have no idea who we meet, who's what. We have no idea what's going on inside someone. And I think I'm saying this because there are all kinds of addicts, okay? And if this message is for you and you have dealt with addictions that are socially unacceptable, then you would consider yourself, or you would have labeled yourself an addict, or society would quite easily. But if this message is for you and you have been putting on your outfit, your makeup, your tie, whatever, suiting up, going into work, driving your car, being around people, highly functioning, masking, and nobody would know it. This message is also for you. And in many ways, you are the worst off of the two, because you can ride the affirmation of people. You can hide behind it. It's like everybody is more than happy to have people mask, right? It makes everybody more comfortable and it's tidier. But you are suffering in silence, and you are suffering alone, and you are suffering with an addiction that is destroying your life. And the worst part of it is truly keeping you from becoming who you actually came here to be. And I'm here today to shed light, to bring light to you. I have such a word for you. And I think you're going to find it surprising how the Creator sees you. Hang on again. Okay, I'm having so many things in my body. Like, I actually tried to record this video once before, and I started to twitch and shake. Like, the last few days have been so uncomfortable. And I think mostly, not just physically, I had to restart the video because I just couldn't. I had to get some kind of composure. The last couple of days, I noticed myself in a few mental patterns. So what would connect you with this message would be like sitting there and just, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Or just, I can't do this. I'm not going to make it. The feeling of darkness, black void of hope. That there's it's the opposite of hope, despair. Not even despair. Total acceptance of dysfunction and disease. It was like, okay, this is all I am then. I accept. And I found myself thinking of going to things and doing things. Now, in my teenage years, I was an addict. I did all kinds of drugs, and I smoked cigarettes, and I was addicted to all those things. But more than that, I was addicted to running away from myself. I was addicted to escaping the biggest fear of all, which was to stop for a second and to not have something to soothe or comfort, and to feel the abyss, the void of what I felt was actually the truth, which was, this is really bad. The trauma I've been through is really bad. The things I've seen are really bad. The stuff these people in my house are doing is really bad. The terms, the means, the way all the trauma played out, it's really bad. I'm not coping. I wouldn't have known to say those words. Those words weren't on my vocabulary. I didn't even think like that. And you know what? This will resonate with you if this is for you, okay? Feel the intensity still, even though it's like the channel is mostly over and gone as of today, I think. I am struggling a bit to stay focused, and you know what's funny? I tend to, when I'm doing my videos, I tend to look at the camera, like, but I'm looking away a lot. I'm avoiding eye contact. And I feel that is connected to the shame that you feel. You feel you don't even feel a shame. You're so used to living in shame, you wouldn't even know it. Like, shame is the thing that makes us avoid eye contact, avoid people, avoid ourselves, okay? And it's the air that you breathe. So for 3 days, I had waves of dark thought patterns. I physically felt like I lost control of all of my will, all of my discipline. Anything that would make me feel like I was strong or disciplined or had it together or myself was gone. I just felt that I was failing, falling. Everything was bad. Everything was over for 3 days. I'm going to read to you now your message. And this is what I scribed on Friday. No, it was Saturday. Yesterday morning, I scribed this message out. And with it, I think some of it started to break, but it didn't really break till this morning. So hang on, I'm going to get the message. Okay. When I started to channel years and years ago, like 10 years ago, it started with writing. And since then, this is my old friend. This is my go-to, being a scribe. But the Holy Spirit asked me to almost not get committed to any specific tool. So since that time, I read flames, I read smoke, I read tarot cards. It's just anything and everything to prove the point to me. I feel that not to get locked into an identity. And I don't know why I'm saying this to you, except that you need to know this. The Holy Spirit is interested in us having a very light and agile, although deeply rooted, light and agile view of ourselves. That almost to say that we are bigger than any story that comes in our past or at us. Does that make sense? And even in my spiritual practices, it's like I cannot lock down too much on one thing, because I never want to think it's the tarot card. It's not the cards. It's not the pen and paper or the laptop. It's not the insight. It's not a thing. It's me. It's me as in the image of God, using the thing that is the channel. And in that, I am always connected and I can always hear God. And you, I'm going to tell you this, even though you don't feel like it right now, you were called and designed to always connect with God, to be able to hear, to be able to permeate those realms like the incense, like your prayers, which you haven't even started praying. That's why I think I'm so emotional in this message, because before I read this, which are your instructions, I want to tell you that you do not see yourself yet. And this title of addiction, these feelings, they are not your feelings. These stories about, it's not your story. Your story. You chose to come here to be the one in your family who overcomes addictive thought pattern. You're the one who chose to come and go through this suffering so that you would know exactly what it feels like. The reason I can channel this is because I've been in addiction. I know I can physiologically remember and go there, and the Spirit can trust me with that. Not with judgment and judging people, but with mercy and empathy. And I'm getting chills down my right arm. You know, you have an entire spirit team of angels and ancestors and a creator. You have so much more for you than against you, and you cannot see them. And I know that, but they are in the room with you right now, literally right now, and you can't see them. The energy we're breaking through, it's like tangles and cords and just generations. And like, I know it feels impossible. And that's the point. That's the point. Thank you, Spirit. That's the point. There is something right now that the divine is wanting to break through into this realm, into this day, this generation, this hour. And it's this: do not be confused about strength. In your weakness, we are made strong through you. What does this mean? It's Chiron. It's the wounded healer. It's the light breaking through the wound. It's the, what is it? The kintsugi. What is that Japanese beautiful art where the gold is poured into the cracks? You do not be carried off on some new age, like, I am God and I need nothing. And no, do not get carried off in that. The sooner that ego stands for edging God out. Okay? Soul stands for source of unconditional love. And I got that from, what's her name? Silverman, beautiful astrologist. We are being asked as a collective right now to remember that, and Yeshua said this as well, I didn't come for the people who think they're all together, right? The religious people. I don't need help. I'm all light, no shadow, right? No, nothing. Those who deflect, who can't take responsibility, who can't. That is not where you see the divine show up. The divine shows up for the broken and the humble, and the ones who, because they agreed to come and suffer, they would get to a point where their humanity would get so low that the spirit, that the external force of unconditional love could come in and lift that spirit up, right? And that, then you have the union and communion. This is the picture of the addict who is at their lowest. And it's like, even I was sitting there in my body, in my reality, going, I'm not an addict. Like, I'm not, but I am the addict too, because we are one. And I could feel you, and I can feel all of our proclivity into obsessions and addictions, and even to our phones and scrolling and getting one more message and one. I am with you. I am no better. I am no better or worse. I'm with you. We are one. We are in this condemnment together, what Bonhoeffer calls the middle. We're in it together. Once I hit this point where I said, well, I'm going to need you to come and deliver me. This is the state. This is it. I'm not going to try to be stronger or prophetic or so together or so namaste, zen, whatever. I'm just fucking losing it, right? I'm just feel like fucking nothing right now. Like the deepest, darkest, blah, like that. That is what I'm talking about. That is the space that Yeshua climbed into. That is the space where the spirit I don't think we understand. It's the opposite of what we think. The spirit is so drawn to the lowly, so drawn to the sick, so drawn to the broken-hearted, the captive, the prisoner of the addiction, right? The prisoner of the thinking thought pattern that it is not about us just you do not ascend properly of your own accord. You ascend through invitation, and you ascend through descension. It is always, if you ask anybody, it is the fire of pain and wounding and seeing that we are self-sabotaging. Alone, apart from me, you can do no thing, right? With me, by my power, by my spirit, you can do all things. The only way through this is surrender. I want your darkness, for I want to hold you in it. I want you to look me in the eyes when you tell me the worst thing about you. And I want you to see the look in my eyes when you say the words that you have feared the most. For in that moment, all traces of shame will flee, and you will be free. Surrender is the only way through it. Yahweh is saying, my sons, my daughters will be so transparent like this, but we can't be like this if we're downplaying things. That's ego. That's pride. No pride will stand in the presence, right? Well, I just recorded you a little outro and then I lost it, so I'm going to redo this. I was just saying to you guys that I love what I heard in that message myself. Channeling that, the bit that really struck me was, I want to hold you in your darkness. I want to hold you in the place where you feel your worst and your worst fear. When the Creator says that to us, what else do we need to hear to know how loved we are? You know, just know that instead of running and hiding, we are all turning right now in our addictions and with our obsessions and with our shadows and with the just absolute worst parts of ourselves, and going, how do you feel about me now? Where do I stand with you now? What does my future look like with this being actually how I feel about myself? This being the truth of what I see. Okay, what is the truth to you? When we bring that and the light shines on it, a different story is read out loud. You hear something different. You feel something different. The acceptance and the affirmation from the Creator who made us, it heals something. It's shalom. It's wholeness. It's where you go, nothing in me is missing. My shadow and my light are here. The point of Yahweh, the story through Yeshua, was never to be perfect. Remember? God alone is good, right? The point is wholeness, acceptance, love, right? All of the bad shit will be taken care of by love. Love energetically lights us up inside, and we don't want to do nasty things. We don't want to do things that hurt our temple, hurt the cosmic temple, the earth. Whoa, does that make sense? I know that makes sense. I'm going to leave it with you guys. You guys are smart. You get it. I feel like I'm leaving this in the right place. I wanted to make sure to be reverent and careful with how I left this because it was so kind of touchy. But I hope you're okay. I hope this resonated. If it did, please comment, let me know, and share this. If you know somebody's going through an addictive state, share this with them. Let them know. We need to know, and we need to be told in our shame that we are loved. That's it. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Be gentle with yourself and go build your altar. Okay? Love you.